Here is a young man who was passionate about one thing. Only. This man was in love with Jesus. But again, he looks around and looks at all of his faces, and he's just smiling. And all he knows is one thing, and that one thing is he loves Jesus. All through his life, he was always taught about keeping God first. And one thing again is that he loves Jesus. Here's this young man who was passionate about one thing, and the only one thing was Jesus. Year after year, his birthday will be a day many will forget. But what remains in him is the joy of the Lord. When Christmas was around, he was so excited to see what gifts he will receive. And as everyone gathered around, he noticed that everyone received a gift but him. He didn't get nothing, but he still had was the joy of the Lord. This young man was well known to his family and friends about his excitement for Jesus. He was truly a superstar for Jesus. All of his friends knew him for always being happy and having the love of Jesus all over him. Many years went by, and now he has grown as a mighty man of God who continued to stay faithful and committed to Jesus. But then he got married to a beautiful and awesome woman of God. They were both on fire for the Lord. They were a power couple for Jesus. And so a year later, they had a beautiful child. A child they raised in the ways of the Lord. For they declared, "For me and my house, we shall serve the Lord." But just like any other day, his wife goes to work. He was wondering why she ain't home. He was worried. He was frustrated. He was stressed. He called so many times, but there was no answer. And late in that night, he gets a call from the police department. Are you Mr. Cordell? And he answers, yes. Well, there was a car accident on I-5 where a FedEx truck ran into a charter bus and killed the driver and some students. I'm sorry to tell you that we have identified your wife as the driver. He went from super excited to super mad. He ignored everybody, even his mom, even his dad, and all of his friends for months. And he just blamed God for everything. But it was that one day, some of his friends stopped by without telling him, but his best friend Pete was the one that brought him to the Lord. And he came there with a word of encouragement. And so hear the words that he had to tell him.
Nothing can separate you from his love. No sin or any other thing. You were called for such a time as this. So turn to God, don't turn away. Just run into his arms.
expensive it is when you're trying to fight for your family. That just persistence and being consistent. See, some of us as body, we just gave up. But it takes how much does it mean to you? You know, we went to a UW game not too long ago with, actually last year, it was me and Justin and my cousin when Utah played UW. And there was a girl that was there we met and found out, you know, she was a cousin of mine. And then just not too long ago, she was the bus driver. She was the charter bus, the driver on that bus that took those low-income students in California when they got hit by a FedEx truck. And I just cried because exactly that, her husband was waiting. Her husband was waiting. And one thing that came in mind was like, love your family. Love them every day. Tell them you love them. Tell them, if you have not, text them right now that you love them. Because you never know when you're going to have another opportunity to tell them that you do. Yeah, that birthday, yeah, that was me. I grew up and I never had anything. They remember my sister, but they never remember my birthday. Christmas is the same thing. I was with a person, but one thing I had was the joy of the Lord. And I thank God for him. Because you know what? You know who was fighting for me? You know what that was? That was Jen. That was Jen fighting that I will receive Jesus. Because she just continued to tell me to come back when I didn't want to come. But she keep on pulling. So when I saw this, and we couldn't even get through this. We tried to do the skit many times, and all of us had cried. Darius, James, all of us will cry because you know what? We have some family members right now that need to come to Jesus. And I want to encourage you, you better fight, do whatever it takes. You better press on because you know what you got is good. And if you know it, tell it to everybody. So God bless you all. Hallelujah.